Hey there, Norman here from WoCode, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Popup Pro widget. The Popup Pro widget is the complete solution for linking almost any site event to a pop-up. When first setting out to create this widget, we had the request from a lot of you for the ability to display a pop-up before exiting a site. However, while building this widget, we quickly discovered that there were a ton of additional triggers that we can add into the widget. More than a dozen, actually, and some of our favorites can be found on our widget demo here. The first one that we have is, of course, the original inspiration for this widget, the ability to have a pop-up appear before closing the site's tab. We can see here the trigger itself is activated if we hover our mouse over the site and onto the address bar or the browser tab area. If I move my mouse up, you can see that that pop-up is now displayed. Now, we do consider this an extreme trigger, and we recommend when using this trigger that you enable the Show Pop-up Only Once option within the widget itself. This will help avoid any potentially uncomfortable or annoying experiences for the site visitor. Below this, we have our Successful Store Order trigger. This trigger will display a pop-up after the visitor has completed a store purchase on the site. If I come over here and click this complete purchase button, we can see that pop-up appears and it contains an additional discount which incentivizes the user to keep shopping on our site. Continuing down, we also have an event to display a pop-up after switching your browser tab and then returning back to the site. We can see here that if I click into this tab and then I return back to the demo, that we have that pop-up that is now displayed. And lastly, here on our demo page, we have our custom CSS selector event trigger. This trigger is perfect for when no other trigger in the predefined list within the widget fits your needs. In our example here, we've simply linked this entire row using the CSS class. So when I click anywhere in the row, our pop-up will appear. There are also many more predefined events available within the widget as well, over a dozen, for a multitude of different triggers that can be linked to display a pop-up. This widget is also powered by the built-in pop-up tab that's already in the builder and expands that built-in functionality to allow an almost endless number of ways to display a pop-up on a site. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into the builder and take a look at how to set this widget up. Here in the builder, we have our Digistore template. Now this template has a built-in e-commerce store already ready to go, and what I would like to do is create a pop-up that contains a 20% off coupon that the user can use on their next purchase. However, I would like that pop-up to display only after the visitor has completed a purchase on the site. Let's jump into this preview site here and take a look at how that's going to look when it's all said and done. So we have a checkout ready to go. We can click checkout, and if we scroll down here and we click place order, we can see that that pop-up appears and it contains that 20% off coupon that the user can then use on their next order. Let's jump back into the builder and get started on setting this up. First thing that we want to do is we want to open up the pages panel, and then we want to open the pop-ups tab and click new pop-up. From here we have a bunch of pre-designed pop-ups. We want to select the promotion pop-up and click add pop-up. With that created, now I want to just simply change the background of the row to better match our site. And I can't find the specific background used in that demo we looked at, so we'll just grab this picture of the phone. That looks great. Now we just need to update this text with that coupon. I can go back over here to this pop-up example. I can copy that text and paste that text and update the color of the code. That looks great. So now that our pop-up is created, we can go ahead and open up our e-commerce tab, go into store pages, and go into our checkout and cart page. From here, we can scroll down, open up our widgets panel, grab that Popups Pro widget, and drag and drop that right into a new row. Now, the first thing you'll notice here is this black placeholder widget. This widget will not be visible on the live site. It will only be visible within the builder and on the preview site. So let's jump into the content tab and take a look at how this widget is set up. The first option we have here is the linked to page. This setting is where you will choose which site pop-up you want to connect the widget to. For this example, we only have the one, but if you had multiple, they would appear in this list here. So we'll select promotion. Next in the list, we have the add pop-up events. This is where you'll configure each event that you want to link to the pop-up. You can use this add event button here to add more options and allow you to link multiple events to the same pop-up. We only want the one, so I'll go ahead and delete that. And now if we open up the pop-up event itself, we can see here we have a couple different options. The first one is the open pop-up on list. This dropdown provides a list of actions and widgets that can be linked to the pop-up. For this demo, we want to use the successful store order option. However, I do want to note that this any external leading link click option will affect all external links, including native widgets like WhatsApp, social icons, share widgets, and so on. So we'll select successful store order. Below that, we have the custom CSS selector. This advanced option allows you to target elements using their CSS class or ID. This is useful for when trying to apply the pop-up to an element or a widget that is not available in the predefined list above. Such as, for example, in our demo, we showed that we can link a specific row to the Popup Pro widget so that when the row itself is clicked, a pop-up will appear. Below this, we have the Show Pop-up Only Once option. This toggle, when enabled, will only show the pop-up once per page visit, or if disabled, it will then allow the pop-up to continue to reappear each time the pop-up event is triggered. For this example, we'll disable that option. And now if we jump into the Design tab, we'll see that there are no design options. That's simply because we will do all the designing within the pop-up itself that we've linked the Popup Pro widget to. There's no settings within the design panel aside from the two standard fields that you'll see in all widgets. So now that we have that set up and ready to go, we can close this. We can grab our preview URL and we can test out that pop-up. If we scroll down here and if we go through the store, add to bag, go to checkout, we can see here that that black placeholder widget is here still. Again, that will not be visible in the live site, only in the preview URL and the builder. We can come down to checkout, scroll on down to place order. And just like that, we've placed the order and now the user has their 20% off coupon for their next order. And that is it for the Popup Pro widget. In this demo, we've showed one example of how to set up this widget, but do keep in mind that you can have a pop-up appear after clicking any site menu, have a pop-up display after clicking a social share widget, as well as link almost any element to display a pop-up when clicked, and so much more. As you can see, it is a very simple yet flexible widget because all of the designing is done within the built-in pop-up tab within the builder itself. And because of this, you are not limited in what the pop-up can show. The widget simply facilitates the ability for the pop-up to be displayed. That being said, my name is Norman Durkee, and you've been rocking with the best website builder platform on the planet, wocode.com. And until next time, and as always, if you have any questions, please reach out to support. We're always here to help.